We're here to bring carers together across Cheshire for the Cheshire and Warrington Carers Trust so that we can better understand what the challenges are for carers across the county. But the exciting stuff around AI is also part of the day, so we've managed to cram in 6 presentations into our morning session.
And hopefully, those of you that choose to join me in our workshops this afternoon, you'll get a chance to play around with a little AI yourself. The interesting thing is that while your skills increase with using the AI is also kind of learning a little bit about you, about what your needs are. AI world is a wild west world of crazy companies that are all battling each other, and that's why I say don't give any of them your money. Use their tools for free, and I'll show you how.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome today to Chester HQ for our Connecting Carers Day. As John said, I'm David Harvey. I'm the Chief Officer of Chester Warrington Carers Trust. So, as we know, across the UK, there are 5 million carers supporting family members, friends, and those within their communities, many trying to combine paid work with caring. Carers save the economy £184 billion a year, which is close to the value of the NHS. However, carers often feel isolated, alone, and without support. Without carers, the health and social care system would collapse. However, many carers sacrifice their needs, including their need to be connected, informed, and included in the digital world. So we now live in a society where more and more is happening online, be that booking GP appointments, using the NHS app, making benefit applications, doing banking, doing shopping, and even keeping in touch with people within our community. When digital works for carers, it can save time, reduce stress, and open doors to opportunities they may not know even existed. When it doesn't work, it's like hitting a brick wall. Confusing forms, systems that assume you have the latest device and latest knowledge, or services that disappear from the high street and disappear to behind screens and online. So today is about breaking down some of those walls. Nobody here is expected to be a tech whiz, and I know I'm certainly not. This is a safe, friendly space to ask questions, try things out, make mistakes, and then try and learn at your own pace. Today is the starting point. We have some great speakers lined up for you this morning, and then during the afternoon, we've got some practical workshops with demonstrations, and you have the opportunity to discuss things with these expert speakers. I also want to reinforce that digital inclusion is not about replacing human contact, and it is not about trying to add more for you to do and add to your list. It is actually about giving people choice, flexibility, and control. It's about making sure that carers are not left behind because they can't use apps, can't get online reliably, or haven't had the chance to learn the skills and confidence that they need. So thank you again for coming along and taking the time to be involved. We'll be using this afternoon to learn more from each other, to challenge some assumptions, and to imagine the digitally inclusive future for unpaid carers that we really like to see.
So my name is John Stewart. I'm a trustee, and I'm doing some work on digital support for carers, and really looking at what a future programme for carers might look like. Before the event, we did a questionnaire. I think 20 of you responded. What we wanted to do was shape the event based on what you wanted to do, what you wanted to see. And what we found from that is that 44% were pretty confident, maybe up to nearly half people were confident using the internet, but want to learn more. And what sort of things did people say they wanted to do? They wanted to do video calls to family and friends, make medical appointments, which is an important part of this day, access to learning online, and use it to manage health and well-being, including the NHS app. And 83% wanted to learn about AI. Unfortunately, we've delivered for you guys here. So we've got Will, who's going to talk about how AI can help carers. He's from Blue Cap AI. Will's your man.
Yes, I am William Clarence Huckabee III, the founder of Blue Cap AI, and more colloquially known as the AI guy. But the First, I want to just sort of tell you a little bit about myself and why I was really excited to come and talk to this group right here. I myself was a unpaid care worker for my father for about 3 years after his cancer diagnosis. And the reason why I started working with these tools was because I was trying to help him through that whole process. And the reason why I started the company and named it Blue Cap AI was to help people exactly like the ones in this room with kind of lowering that administrative burden, making it a little bit easier to take in all of the great information that you get at events like this, and then really apply it in useful ways in your life back home and for the people that you care for. So my philosophy is pretty simple when I talk to people about AI. AI is like any other skill. Nobody jumped on a speed bike the first time that they got onto a bike. We all started off on tricycles, and that's what I start with in the sessions that I run. And hopefully, those of you that choose to join me in our workshops this afternoon, you'll get a chance to play around with a little AI yourself. The interesting thing is that while your skills increase with using the AI is also kind of learning a little bit about you, about what your needs are, whether like you're like me and you're dyslexic, or maybe you have some memory issues. The AI starts to sort of figure that out and build up around you so that both of you are increasing in your skills as you go along. AI is not a magic tool. A lot of people will tell you that it's magic, especially if you're dealing with the types of tools that I show people how to use, because I show you how to use publicly available, free to use tools. So these are not things that you have to pay for. They're just the free apps that we all have access to, and they're incredibly powerful if you set them up with the right guardrails and you know how they work. They're not a source of truth. AI can be wrong. It is just finding an answer on the internet or in its training data and serving it up to you as though it is an absolute source of truth. That's why what we do is show you how to tell it what sources of information to go to so that you know that it's pulling the right stuff, and also how really simple workflows with very basic prompts can be very, very effective. The technology is high tech so that you really don't have to be. For too long, complexity came hand in hand with high tech. You got more and more menus, more and more buttons, more and more things to select. All of that's gone now, basically. If you know how to use the proper AI, you do everything with spoken word. It is just a tool, though, okay? It's a tool that predicts and rewrites language. It is not a mind that understands things, even though it kind of talks like it is. It's very good at drafting, summarizing, and organizing, which is part of what we're going to be going over in our workshop this afternoon. But as I mentioned, it's not a guaranteed source of truth. Junk in, junk out. If you tell it to go out onto the internet and find you an answer, it's a crapshoot of what it's going to come back with, because we all know what's out there, right? So you want to make sure that you're putting the right guardrails in place. It is extremely helpful with brainstorming and first drafts, but it's never a replacement for professional judgment. You talk to your AI to get ready before your appointment. You maybe use your AI during the appointment a little bit to take notes, which is what we'll be going over on today. And then especially after whatever that professional appointment was, to digest all the information they gave you afterwards, it's incredibly useful. As I mentioned, it's great for turning notes into clear messages, but it's never a safe place for personal or sensitive data, which is another thing that we're going to go through, how to keep things general. I can say that I'm a diabetic, that I live in the northwest of England, that I have a garden in my back that I want to take care of. It has enough information to do the job it needs to do without giving it my national insurance number, my full name, my full address, or anything like that. And that's part of the workshop that I'll be doing later if any of you decide to join me. Now I want to sort of zoom out and talk about the concept of de-skilling and upskilling. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's the idea that when AI comes into any job or task that we do as people, it has one of these two effects. It either de-skills it, meaning that having 20 years of experience doing this particular thing doesn't really matter anymore because the AI has all of human history of experience, versus if it's taking away the small admin tasks, which what we've seen in the world of, say, mathematics, coding, these have been massively de-skilled because you can basically whisper an app into existence. You can make a website with just a few prompts. So the really deep knowledge that coding and things required is kind of gone. However, healthcare is exactly the opposite. With healthcare, the important parts are where we deal with each other, the human connections that we've been talking about today. The part that takes away from that is keeping your notes clear, filling out paperwork, searching dozens and dozens of government websites to find out which one is the right one for you. These are the things that AI can really have an impact in the healthcare world, and hopefully what we can show you guys today. This is kind of where I wanted to open up with like maybe a show of hands exercise, but I gave some examples of things that I've been working with people regarding healthcare and AI. So coordinating with different carers. We heard from our speaker this morning about how he's doing that with his Google Calendar, preparing for appointments. But I wanted to ask, since everyone in this room has got more experience than me with that, has anyone seen any of these examples already out in the real world, or that you're using AI for organizing thoughts or preparing, translating text, filling out forms? Is anybody? A couple? Okay, that's great. And for those of you that, haven't started using this yet, hopefully the workshop this afternoon will give you the confidence to start trying to do some of that stuff. Because just like I said, it's like learning to ride a bike. What I'm setting up today is just the tricycle version. It's just the little baby toy that we're gonna play around with, but it can turn into something really, really powerful. To give a couple of personal stories, so with care coordination, I had an early test case named Ben. Ben is in a wheelchair. He has several pieces of medical equipment that he's got to take around with him, but he's still a pretty young guy. Wanted to go traveling and things like that outside of the UK, but he had to bring his carers with him. So what we did is we set him up with clones of the same AI, basically, in his device and in the carer's device, which really only knew exactly where everything was packed in his bags. So if he was having an issue, they could ask their AI on their phone, where is that device or thing that I need? It would be able to tell them exactly where it was, and then they would be able to take care of him, because that was the biggest fear that he had about leaving his home, was because in his house, all the carers know where everything is, and if he leaves, suddenly there's a fear there. There was also finding accessible routes to get from one place to the other, so knowing that the train, that the stop that you're getting off at, that the whole route back and forth is all gonna be accessible, is something that you can do with AI. Obviously, filling in forms and paperwork is a massive part of what all of us do. And one of the ways that I've been helping people that I work with is during their appointments, they're taking audio notes, just speaking to their phone. And then the app that we've set up for them already has the paperwork that they need to fill in. We'll prompt them if they've missed something, and then kind of just spit out all the paperwork at the end. For the workshop that we're going to be doing this afternoon, we're centering in on ChatGPT because it is the most publicly used app. That's the most likely one that if you grab a bunch of people and put them in the room, some of you guys might already have. But what we're doing, these techniques basically work in any LLM. So if you want to use another one, you can. If you aren't interested in using an AI tool at all, I still encourage you to come and see what's going on, because just seeing how other people work with it can kind of get you over the hump of feeling how weird it is to talk to a machine, because we've all had to get through that. We'll then create a project using the picture that you've taken of the prompt that I've given you, and I'll show you how to make sure that you stay in control of how this thing works. It sounds complicated, but it's really just plain English sentences, like you would give instructions to an intern at a company of what it's supposed to do, and you can go in there and just change in plain English any of those instructions if you want to, and I'll show you how to do that. There's no typing required for my demo, because you're literally just taking pictures of the things that I have already got set up, and there's no real technical prowess required. And now, so I kind of was speed running that as well so we could all get to food, but does anybody have questions about what I'm planning on doing, or about how AI might be affecting any of you guys? Some of those just that said that you were using it, maybe? Yeah?
Would it help to download the app during lunchtime?
If you want to participate, it's much faster if you already have ChatGPT or another LLM on your phone. But it's not required to take part. It's just for the actual demo parts, you do need to have it already on your phone. But if you are downloading it for the first time, please just download it. Don't do anything else. And then I'll show you how to make sure that you put the right safeguards on it so that it's safe to use. Always go for the free AI. Yeah. Any LLM that you download will inevitably ask you if you want to upgrade and pay money. Don't do that. You don't need to. People that are running entire businesses like me for £20 a month, there's £200 and £2,000 a month accounts. That's ridiculous. Those of us who found out how to do it for free joke that we're going to have to get a bunch of humans to replace the AI because they're getting too expensive.
It was like LLM.
That's large language model, which is the umbrella term that refers to anything like ChatGPT, Gwen. You might have seen Meta, Facebook, Copilot. They're all basically LLMs, is what we call all of them as an umbrella term. Large language model. Because that's all they do is the first superpower that we gave AI was speed reading. It is able to read at a lightning fast pace where it could read every single book that's ever been written in a few hours. So that was the main superpower. And then they got really, really good at math. Math helped with coding. And then we started finding out that we could train them to be really good at one skill, and they end up being really good at another skill. Like they suddenly started getting good at making drawings for some reason. No one really knew why that happened, and they couldn't get the right number of fingers, but then they figured that out. So the AI world is a Wild West world of crazy companies that are all battling each other, and that's why I say don't give any of them your money. Use their tools for free, and I'll show you how. Thank you. Thank you.